Hello and welcome back to Live Drawing with Octopolis. I'm Brian Miller, and today we're going to have so much fun painting in the final character on our big, massive Jem and the Hologram sort of jam piece, sketch paint commission, call it whatever you want. It's truly outrageous. It's Jem and the Holograms. So yes, we've got Shayna painted in, Jem painted in, and Kimber painted in, and then today we're ready for Aja. So should be a lot of fun. See if we can get, it's a big drawing. It's like 11 by 17. So try to get as much of the paint palette on camera as I can, so you can kind of see me mix some colors and stuff. But you know, if you don't see what you're wanting to see, let me know in the chat, and I'll adjust the screen as much as I can. But thanks to everyone for joining me today. Good to have all of you here. It's been so much fun working on this big commission, and all of your feedback has been great too. And I have to give a shout out to Ash Corvin, who on our TD Tuesday did a $40 cash donation during the stream. I mean, that was totally unexpected and much appreciated. So thank you, Ash Corvin, and I hope you enjoy your sketch commission. So that was really, really nice, and I do thank you. For everyone else, just make sure you're following. Feel free to subscribe. We are doing some giveaways for subscribers here on Twitch and on Patreon. So if you haven't joined us at one of those two places, be sure and do so. Support the stream. Keep this going. Over a year now. Isn't that crazy? Seems crazy to me. All right, so I'm just going to get a little paint out. Hey, Kikan-san, good to see you. Thanks for joining today. Always good to see you. Hopefully we'll have the opportunity to see each other in the real world sometime soon, because it's been far, far too long. So Aja, she's got blue hair, and she wears this sort of pink satiny blouse. So I think we'll just mix up some light pink here to start with, and then maybe once we get the first coat of pink down, we can use some of that to start some work on her skin color and stuff. But let's just see. It's a little too intense still, so I'm gonna go with a little bit of a watered down version of that. We'll build up the color, but we need to start off a little lighter. Yeah, that should be pretty nice. So we'll start off with that value. Good to see you, Quench Press. Hope you're doing well. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm back in my original office space. I finally have my sit-stand desk assembled and working. So after working from the kitchen for the last, week and a half or so, I had a sit-stand desk that arrived from Amazon, and it was broken in the package and just kind of seemed like junk, and the response from the vendor wasn't very good, so I just returned that. And I got a sit-stand desk from IKEA that's really low on frills. It's pretty basic, but let me tell you, it seems to be built like a rock. So that's what I need. I need something I can have my computer on and my artwork on, and have it be really reliable and sturdy and everything. So hopefully that will be the case with this new sit-stand desk. And it cost about the same as the one from Amazon, so it wasn't really any more expensive or anything. It just didn't have some of the fancy features, but that's okay because it seems to be much better engineered and well made. So I'll take that and be happy with it. More than happy, actually. So yeah, I'm just gonna do a really light wash of this pink and then build some of her colors up, because her shirt, it's almost as intense as Jem's. So we'll have to do a couple of different kind of washes and levels to get it up there, but it'll be worth it. It will be worth it. But let me know what you guys have been up to, especially you, Quench Press. Let me know how your week is going. Yesterday was pretty not a good day for me, but it ended nice. My birthday's coming up, so I got an early birthday gift of a bottle of Maker's Mark Cask Strength, and then like a test trial subscription, like a 1 month part of a mixology kind of club where they send you recipes and mixers and stuff, but you supply your own booze. So looking forward to trying all of that out. We all know I'm into my cocktail culture, so it was a nice early birthday gift to receive, especially after a long, hard, less productive than I would like day. Might as well end it on a high note, right? Rick says, is it the Beckett? No, sorry, Rick. That was a little out of my price range. So this is the hand crank sit stand desk, whichever one that's called. I think it starts with an S. The one you're talking about looked really nice, but it was about double the price. So I just really couldn't justify spending that. But it did look really, I mean, like, it looked like the awesome kind of desk you would have in like a trendy loft, artist loft with like concrete floors and floor to ceiling windows. I mean, it was really cool looking desk. And they had lots of like, accessories and stuff for it. But sadly, I'm in a little bit of a smaller space here these days and just couldn't really see how to do the double the price. Just didn't make sense. But it would look nice. It looked really nice. I'd love to have that one, as a matter of fact. It would look like a really cool desk. But very good to see you, Cartoon Rick. Quinch says, I watched Godzilla vs. Kong last night. It had some issues, but it was fun and I enjoyed it. Yeah, I saw that became available. And I don't know. I'm sure Christy and I will watch it soon because she's watched all the other in that series. So I'm sure it'll be on the list of things that we watch, in the next 3 or 4 nights, whenever she doesn't have tennis or something. So it should be coming up. But yeah, it looks like it should be cool. I mean, I don't really know much about it. And I guess the title gives it away. But I don't know. I really like the new Suicide Squad trailer. I liked Starro at the end. I was like, yes, that looks cool. Quinch says, one of the two got a lot more screen time than the other. I wonder. Well, Kong doesn't have to interface with water at all times, so I don't know which way they would lean on that. If they would go more towards Kong or more towards Godzilla. But yeah, I'm sure we'll watch it soon. It's definitely on the must-see list for sure. All right, I'm gonna just stick with the light washes to start with. So I think I'll let's go ahead and make up just a little bit of like a skin color here. Try to get this palette a little bit more on camera there. Yeah, there we go. So you can kind of see what I'm doing here. I know everybody's like, we want to see you mix the colors. Get it on camera. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of yellow. And this is gonna be really light to start with. And then I'll probably just take some of this pink that I've been working with and just mix it in there. We'll see if we can get ourselves like a nice peachy color. Could you have a little bit more yellow? Yeah, that's getting pretty close to what we want. Well, good. I'm glad you got to see that, Quinch. It looks really fun. kind of looking forward to it myself. I need to blow off some steam. I've got a big, one of the big Smithsonian, like 3-hour Zoom things tomorrow, and so I'll be pretty knackered after that. So if Christy's around, maybe we'll get to watch that tomorrow night or something. We'll see how it plays out. All right, so just a really light wash on the skin tone. I want to go on like just super pale. I don't mind working like really opaque sometimes, and like I think when we did Jem, we went really opaque with her skin, but it seems to just take a little bit longer to do the cleanup that way, whereas if we start off light, we can just build up levels and details and kind of get things going more the way we want them, with a little less stress, if that makes sense. And Cartoon Rick, let us know how you're doing. Let us know what you're up to these days. But you guys know me. I told you I've been watching the ridiculous beach movies on Amazon Prime. So I'm kind of torturing myself with these. Hey Kimmy, thanks for joining us today. Appreciate you. Yeah, I've been torturing myself with these beach movies, and I think I said on the last stream, the ones with Annette Funicello, like the Beach Blanket Bingo and Beach Party and Pajama Party and all those. Those are pretty okay. I mean, they're just kind of like what you would imagine the 60s would be. I mean, I have no idea. I wasn't there, but my parents were there, and it's what you think of. It seems very faux innocent and lighthearted and all that. And then some of them just get really, really bizarre. But so I had watched the first Dr. Goldfoot one a while back with Vincent Price, and I think I'd commented that it was a kind of a fun blend of the beach movie with a horror movie type motif. It's almost like a Scooby-Doo episode. And it wasn't great, but it wasn't, horrible. It was just kind of cheese. You could definitely get the sort of like Austin Powers kind of vibe from it. So last night I subjected myself to the second Dr. Goldfoot movie. Oh man, is it bad. You could tell that Vincent Price is having a great time. But it was all filmed in Italy, and I found out that I guess the first one was a huge hit in Italy. And so there was another like Bond spoof made in Italy around the same time. And the Italian producers wanted to make a sequel to their Bond spoof. And they approached the American producers of Dr. Goldfoot and said, this movie was really huge in our country. We'd like to help you produce a sequel. And so they just took both the scripts and mashed them together and made one movie. And they released the English language one here. And the one in Italian had a completely different story, and they released it there. So you could tell it was just a mishmash and kind of crazy. Not good, not worth watching. But Vincent Price, you could tell, was having a really good time making it. I'm sure the only reason he made it is they flew him to Italy and put him up while he was there, and he probably got to travel around to all the art museums because he's a famous art collector. But yeah, it was pretty ridiculous, to say the least. All right, so let's go ahead and I think that skin tone is light enough. We could probably stick with the same color and just like layer it up a little bit. As long as we don't get the paper too wet, it should respond pretty well, I think. But yeah, let me know what you guys are up to. If you're working today, are you excited about any of the recent announcements, like the Comic-Con special edition or Suicide Squad? Yeah, like just what are you excited about right now? I mean, we've got lots of different things coming up, so Maybe there's something that you're looking forward to. Inquiring minds want to know. Yeah, I definitely want to hear what you're up to. Okay. So I'm going to take a little bit of this darker pink now. And let's just see if we can start to build this up a little bit, I think. So that we can start to get a little bit of shape and form for Aj's wardrobe here. And you guys probably can't tell, and I know I've said this before, but I get some really crazy glare off the video light. So if it looks like I'm dancing around in the camera here, that's usually what it is just me trying to get out of the glare a little bit so I can see what it is I'm doing. Always a little bit more challenging doing these things on cam, really just for that reason, right? Is that the lights I need for the video just really create a lot of glare on the wet paint. I probably, if I move to like a 45-degree angle, like art table or something, that would probably solve that. But so I just want to make sure that this pink ends up being like a little darker, a little more reddish than Kimber's guitar or keyboard, so that where they overlap, you know, it doesn't look too much the same. So that'll be one of the things that I'm paying attention to here while I'm working, is just trying to keep that, see if I can keep myself in frame as well. Got this new setup, it's a challenge. Gotta figure out how I'm gonna do everything. So yeah, just working on Kimber. And like I was saying before, I don't know if you guys have gone back and watched any of the Jem and the Holograms cartoons, but they're all on Tubi right now, which is a free streaming service, but you do have to watch commercials. So as long as you're okay with that, you can watch them all for free. And it's something you can watch on your computer or your phone, or if you have a smart TV. I think quite a few of the smart TVs can get the Tubi app on there. I know our Samsung one had it built in already. So that was kind of cool. Trying not to get too caught up in detail yet, just doing the main color fill here. Probably a little too much choked up on the paintbrush though. That's all right. It just takes a little bit of time to get these things working in. We want it to look nice. So we'll just take our time and build up these colors, and hopefully we'll end up with the results that we're happy with. And the good news is even if not, I can always just keep painting over top of things until it looks the way I want it to. And that's kind of one of the things I like about these gouache paints is, you know, I can reactivate them, I can paint over top of them, I can, bring in some like colored pencil for some details. So really flexible, really nice to work with. And for those who haven't seen one of the previous episodes, this is the gouache paints that I'm using. See if I can get that up closer to the camera. Maybe. New camera location. Hey, there we go. So there's our gouache paints that we're using today. Yeah, just roughing this one in. Part of the fun of doing these commissions is when you first start a new character or a new sketch commission, and you just are at the beginning and you're laying down some pencil marks or some paint marks or color or something, there's that point where it just doesn't look like really much of anything. And it's always fun to just keep working it and pushing and just get past that point to where it finally starts to come alive, and you kind of have that moment where you go, oh, aha, yeah, it's going to work. It's going to look like what it is I want it to look like. And that's kind of part of the fun. It's the fun and the challenge really of being an artist, right? Is that, our goal is to like put these stories on the paper or the canvas and just like show other people how it is that we see the world. And it's a challenge, and there's a point where there's always a point in every project where you're like, oh, this isn't working, or it's not working the way I wanted it to, or something like that. But most of the time, if you just keep at it, keep putting the details in and keep painting, eventually it all comes together, which is nice. It's kind of what makes it all worthwhile. And here I'm just hinting at some of the highlights in Aja's outfit here, because I want it to look really satiny when it's done. That was one of the things about Jem, is like all their outfits on all the like box art and promotional art and stuff always looks like super duper satiny. So I really want to kind of try to capture that look a little bit, you get that idea of the sort of like silky sheen. And that just takes a little bit of extra time, just building up the colors a little bit at a time. But that's part of the fun, is to just kind of like watch it happen. Just kind of like let it do its thing. So let's go a little bit lighter. Just a little bit lighter, right kind of in here, so we can get some blending going here. Just let that darker value blend into that lighter value just a little bit. There you go. And we'll end up doing probably a lot more blending like that. I'll give you the idea, at least to start with, how we can work these paints and these colors and get them to start to give us some new looks. Hey, Quench Press Redeemed to Hydrate. Thank you, Quench. Appreciate it. I'm enjoying some sparkling bubble water today. Now that's not like me. I ran out of pink already. I normally mix up too much, but apparently today it was not enough. Can't take for granted just how much pink is in some of these Jem characters, right? All pink all the time. Otherwise it wouldn't be Jem. All right, we'll see if this is, yeah, it looks like it's fairly close to what we had before. See how much darker or lighter it is though. Well, it's about the same. Good. So again, just, you know, these first couple passes on everything, just to kind of build up a little bit of the value so that when we do get in and start to add the detail, we have some contrast. We have something to contrast against, you know. That's kind of, I don't know, it's key to so much of this stuff is to just have good contrast between the light and the dark areas so that you get that sense of like the highlights and the shadows and everything. And it can just take a few passes to like build all that up. Oh, there's Catherine. Good to see you. Catherine says, "Oh my gosh, I made it. Never walked to the store when in a rush." Oh yeah, my goodness. How far away is that for you as a walk? I think I'm maybe a mile or less than a mile from the nearest grocery store, and I'll walk over there on occasion. But yeah, very, very good to see you. Once you catch your breath and get settled in, let us know. Let me know what you think about Aja. Just getting started on her, roughing in her clothing a little bit. I was just saying it'll take time to build up all these colors, but it'll be worth it because we want to make sure we have really good contrast when we're done. Sorry if I'm standing too far off cam. Might have to move where the direction my computer's pointing, or just stop leaning over to one side. How about that? All right, so we'll let that dry before we add any more pink to her. We might add just a touch of that pink into the skin tone that we have. Hey Evan, good to see you. Catherine says the store is only about 0.8 of a mile away, so almost a mile. Catherine says, Aja's looking good. Good to see you, Evan. Hope you're having a good week, my friend. Always good to see you. So really not too far along on Aja here, just starting to rough in a few details on her. Probably get a little bit more done with the pink and with the skin colors, and then start to move to some of the blue values and stuff. Just want to kind of give a little implication of like where her wrist and stuff are here. Quinch Press says, my nearest store is 0.9 miles. I've never walked there in 9.5 years. That's funny. I like walking to the store once in a while. If I just need to grab a few things, it can be a good excuse to get out and walk. But now, Quinch, I know you walk all the time, so clearly you walk enough and get enough mobility that walking to the store is not a necessity for you. Evan says, things are going good. I'm loving my new Mac. Oh man, that's great to hear. I am definitely jealous. Those new, were they called M1 Macs? Everyone talks about how amazing they are. As far as how fast they are and everything. Quinch Press says, hey Catherine, hey Evan. Yeah, and Cartoon Rick was on here for a little while. But yeah, those new M1 Macs are supposed to be really, really fast, and it seems like every week another software maker announces that they're, updating their software to run natively on there. So it seems like it's moving along pretty quick. Quinch says, yeah, I just don't want to walk home with groceries. Walking itself is definitely not an issue. Quinch says, hey, don't forget to tell Evan that I had Brian do Gilligan for him on Tuesday. Yes, that's true. Catherine says, I've been walking without the cane for about 2 months now. 2 miles is the longest I can go, but I'm so proud of that. That is amazing. That is amazing. Well, Catherine, I don't know if you're going to stick with us until the end today or not, but just in case, I wanted to let you know that this commission is for you. So this whole time, this Jem the Holograms commission has been for you, and you just didn't know it. So you have Whitney to thank for that. And we'll know momentarily if you heard that announcement or not. But yes, it's been a surprise in the works just for you, Catherine. So hopefully you like it. Evan says, I did have an issue with my Wacom driver. Yeah, I can believe that. Wacom's always the ones that are the problem makers, it seems like. Catherine put up like a gazillion emotes. She's like, oh my gosh, I was so hoping so. And Quinch Press says, congrats, Catherine. Yeah, I think we started planning this, gosh, maybe even a month before I started doing it live. So it had been in progress for a while. All right, I think we're getting off to a decent start here with this. Catherine says, I was so sad when you said it was a commission, then I was secretly hoping that Jason got it for me. Yes, well, you were hoping correctly. All right, let's try. Catherine cheered 100 points. Thank you, Catherine. All right, let's work in just a little bit more pink into this skin color here. Try to get a nice color for Aja's blush. Because you know these gym girls, they're all about their cheek blush. I think you have to go with like a secret initiation with cheek blush before they'll let you join. They're like, we're sorry, we know you want to be a member of Jem the Holograms, but your blush game is not strong enough to join us. And you're just like, wah, wah. Whitney says, I figured you forgot our conversation about getting a Jem commission. Catherine's like, so forgot. Whitney says, Brian has gone totally out of control with this one. Yes, you might even say truly outrageously out of control. That's okay. It's been fun learning experience for me as well. definitely well beyond sketch level, but that's all right. It's been too much fun. Too much fun. All right, just gonna wash on some of this blush. We can always go back and do some little blending. Oh, Ash Corbin just subscribed with Prime. This is where I'm supposed to say, it don't cost you a dime to subscribe to Octopolis with Twitch Prime. Thanks for the subscription. And I gave you a shout out earlier in the stream, but now that you're here, I'll say it again. You know, thank you for that $40 donation on Tuesday night. That was unexpected and very much appreciated. So thank you so much. I hope you enjoy your sketch commission, and you'll get a tracking number when that goes out this week too, so you'll know when it's on its way. All right, I think we're at a good place to let some of that stuff dry a little bit. And while we do that, we'll see about maybe playing with some of these blue values. Evan says, it took me over a week to get everything up to my specs. Yeah, I believe that. I believe that. Man, whenever you get a new machine, it's so crazy to get all that stuff set up, right? I mean, it's such a, I don't know, I think like computers and all that, it's so personal, you know? Like, you get everything done just the way you want it and the way you like it. And then if something comes along and disrupts that, it's just like so annoying. Ash says, hey, no worries. It was my pleasure. Really happy with how the tikis turned out. Thanks, man. I had a blast drawing those. It was really fun. I really, really enjoyed that. And it was just a really good idea for a commission, you know. I think, I don't know if it, you know, maybe it's like an artist thing. I'm not sure, but like, I know to me, like what the idea is for the commission can really not make or break a commission by any means, but like, it's like how excited you are about it or not, you know. Definitely a place to let that dry a little bit because the face is getting a little on the wet side. So, oh my gosh, Whitney. All right. Whitney just tipped $50. Holy crap. Thank you guys so much. That was also unexpected and we'll appreciate it. Thank you. It's going to make my head get big now. No, seriously, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Quinch says, you say it was a good idea, but I'm not sure it held water. I feel like the CSI Miami guy, he'd be like, held water? Wah! All right, let's work a little bit of blue into this now. We let some of those peaches and pinks and stuff dry. And seriously, thanks again, Whitney. Really appreciate it. Hope you and Catherine love this one. It's my pleasure. And no matter how far we get today, I'll finish up because I'm sure I'll do like the background elements and stuff after the stream today. Oh my gosh, I love those emotes, Catherine. Are those like blonde skulls? I can't even tell for sure, but they're really adorable wherever they are. All right, so let's get started with a little bit of blue. A little bit of blue. Evan cheered 5 bits. Boy, you guys keep this up and we're going to be on a hype train before you know it. Speaking of that, where's Les Dudas? We haven't seen him for like the last 3 streams. I see him posting on Instagram still, so I know he's alive. I mean, I hope he's alive. I'd be really bummed if he wasn't. Quinch Press says, for anyone who wasn't here for Tuesday's sketch for Ash, it was one of Disney's Leaky Tikis. Yeah, I can show that actually because I haven't shipped it yet. So yeah, there is the Leaky Tikis from Tuesday's sketch. Well, let's see if we can get that on cam a little bit better. There we go. Leaky Tikis. Ooh, Leaky Tikis. So much fun. So much fun. And I haven't shipped it yet because, you guys know me. I tend to noodle around these things with some color pencils and stuff afterwards, so they're never really done, right? Quinch Press posted, instead of "let's do this," he put "where do this." Ash says, now I'm going to have the tiki drum beat stuck in my head, right? Yeah. Every day, all day. That's what it is. Every day, all day. Tiki drum beat. All right. I'll tell you what, guys. I wasn't sure about switching to like a standing situation, but this is what, my third or fourth standing stream, and I kind of enjoy it. I think it's been good for me, and I tend to be a little bit more animated, I think, so hopefully it's good for you guys too. I know, I wish we could get away with playing like the Disney Tiki soundtracks and stuff on the stream, but unfortunately we can't. Streamlabs or Twitch is well aware, though. They had like a whole conference about how they feel like Twitch streamers are being harassed unfairly by the music industry compared to like YouTube and some other platforms. And so they're trying to come out with all these like new features and things to help streamers, who get in trouble just for things like having music playing in the background like I am right now. And, if it happens to pick up or something, you can get like a copyright takedown notice and stuff like that. And they're like, well, clearly that streamer wasn't trying to capitalize on that music. And of course the music industry's like, if they have a subscriber, they're capitalizing, and we want, we either want to block them or we want to take their subscription money away or whatever it is. And it's just kind of silly, It's not like we're having concerts on here or I'm like DJing other people's music or something. So it's definitely a major issue right now for Twitch. And I'm glad that they're being proactive about it, or at least trying to, instead of just being like, screw you, streamers. It seems like they're actually trying to implement some changes in policies and things that will be helpful. Evan says, did you get your new desk? Yeah. This is a desk from IKEA. I sent the one back to Amazon because it arrived broken. And the one from Amazon had a lot more features and looked a little fancier, but this one seems to be rock solid. So I put it together last night. It seemed to be well engineered, and it does what I needed to do. So off to the races with that one, as it were. Ash says, all of the YouTube streamers pay close attention to the copyright strikes as well. That's the key reason why you won't see any of them stream the Enchanted Tiki Room. Yeah, I remember when you used to be able to like get like, the Haunted Mansion soundtrack, like Ride Through or the Tiki Room or any of those online, and like I guess a lot of that stuff's going away, And I mean, look, I want everyone's copyrights protected, but I also understand that there's there's fair use and there's how would you put it? There's people who are not trying to capitalize on things. Like I was saying before, just music playing in the background. That's not really part of the stream or something like that. So it just happens to get picked up on a microphone. That's kind of silly. And that's happened to me before for sure. And I haven't got a copyright strike or anything, but I get the little notices that, you cannot monetize this stream. I'm like, okay, well, I hadn't planned to. Oh, they're asking about how far away Quinch is for me. Yeah, 35 miles maybe, but like with Phoenix traffic, that could be like anywhere from an hour to an hour 15. Especially right now, it's still the end of baseball spring training and spring break, and there's just so many flipping people here. It's ridiculous right now. It's, every other car on the street, instead of having Phoenix license plates, it's like Idaho and Utah and Nevada and Alaska and Washington State. And of course, a gazillion from California. I saw Tennessee yesterday. It's just like, I think they heard that we reopened our state and they all just rush here, They're like, there's a state where I don't have to wear a mask. I'm there. All right, so just a light wash of blue to get her started. We'll do the same with her guitar. I'm going to put just the tiniest little kiss of yellow in there, just to make the guitar blue a little bit different from the hair blue. Ash says they'll get copyright strikes or warnings about some of the parade cavalcade music too. They don't have much of an issue with the rides, but I think that's because the limited time in any particular scene. Oh, that's probably true. Yeah. And again, I'm an artist. I want my copyrights protected and stuff like that, and I've had my art stolen and it's no fun. So I certainly have sympathy with all the copyright holders, but I think the like Twitch was saying in their announcements, they feel that the governing body or the music industry or whatever have been harassing streamers as opposed to enforcing logically the rules. And so I would tend to agree with that. When you've got a platform that, I think they said during the pandemic, the number of digital copyright takedown notices per day were more than the entire year previous. So think about that. One day on Twitch, they were getting more takedown notices than they did the entire year before. So seems kind of crazy. And they're saying some of it is for, snippets of audio that aren't even 10 seconds long and stuff. And, what if you're trying to do movie reviews or music reviews or something like that? I mean, fair use says you're allowed to do that. And, some of these people are not being allowed to do those things. And then that just drives them away from Twitch into other platforms. And obviously Twitch doesn't want that. And it's not good for the fans either, I mean, if you're here for content and then all of a sudden that content goes away, it's no fun. Whitney says, like Ted Zodiac Killer Cruz refusing to wear a mask now that he's vaccinated. So many words I can't say. Oh, man. Yeah. Yes. So many things I would like to say that I don't feel like I can say. It's the typical, so there's no adults in charge, right? That seems to be what's going on. Well, Whitney, while you're on that subject, I saw a news report about Ivanka had a had started a program to like empower female business owners while her dad was in office. And it had full bipartisan support. I mean, that's a great idea, right? Like, we need to do things to help. It was to help women business owners and low-income business owners. And by government standards, it wasn't a huge amount of money. It was something like $350 million per year. And it was just earmarked to do that. And so now that the White House has changed over, they did the first audit of this program. And they said the people in charge, not only could they not determine if any of the money had been given to female business owners or poor business owners, they couldn't even define when asked, well, what would qualify as a female-owned business, right? Like, they hadn't done any of the work. They just, the money has been given away to someone. And it's like, it's stuff like that while people mistrust their governments. And obviously when governments do stuff like that, they should be mistrusted. So, and it's like, here was a program that had, support from both sides of the aisle. It had the potential to really help, female business owners and other business owners that were struggling. And, now they're not even sure where the money went. I mean, it got spent. It definitely got spent. So now they're going to have to do the full audit and reveal who got the money and what it went for and all that. Which will probably cost more than the funding itself did, That's the crazy part. Anyway, I normally don't do political rants on here, but since Whitney brought it up, I jumped on board. Whitney says, I love how Twitch blocked the Metallica stream that whoever it was doing. Whitney says, aren't they looking at permitting music live as long as it's not on the recording? Yes, Whitney. They are working on that. The last thing that I got from them said that what they're hoping to be able to implement is like a multi-channel audio thing for streamers, so that at the time of the live stream, we would be able to say, this, like, my microphone input is going to go into the stream and the recording, but this other input is only going to go live, which could be like music or something else. So hopefully that all gets solved, because it would be really good. So we'll see what happens with that. But it's something that they say they're working on. Talking about the money for women business owners, Whitney says, I'm shocked. Quench Press says, wouldn't be surprised if it ended up in the DJT legal fund. Okay, I think we have most of the base colors laid down there. Hey, George, thanks for watching today. Appreciate seeing you here. I guess now's a good time to say, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Brian Miller. I'm an artist. I work for companies like Lucasfilm and Dark Ink Art and Fox Studios. My website is octopolis.com. All my social media is Octopolis or Octopolis Art. You can also find me here on Twitch. If you want to chat live, you join the chat today on Twitch. If you're on YouTube or Facebook, we appreciate you hanging out too. And you can also join us on Patreon. We are giving away some artwork pretty soon to Patreon members and Twitch subscribers. So if you want to be entered in the contest, join us on one of those platforms. It will be, you could win something, maybe not something as elaborate as the Jem and the Hologram sketch, but you can win some artwork that I've created. So definitely check all those things out. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. All right, I think the pink has dried long enough that we could start to go in and add a little bit more richness and texture and detail into that. So that'll be a good place to go next. See if we can get it just a little darker than we had it before. It's pretty good. Maybe just a tiny touch more red. Just a little bit. Don't want to overdo it. I don't know. I might have to get some cleaner water. We'll see. If that's too... Nope, that'll be okay. All right. One of these days, I'm just going to have like some fancy art room with... Like maybe I'll be a millionaire artist and I'll just have like Evian water that I can use to mix my paints. Just keep it pure all the time, like filtered water. You're like, oh, it's so fancy. Brian's paints are so fancy with this filtered water. Evan say, anybody not see the new JLA? I haven't seen it yet, but I'm okay with you talking about it. Unless somebody says that no spoilers, but I don't have to read what you post out loud either, so. Let's see if we can just a touch more. So just adding just a little bit more red to this pink, just to try to get just a little bit more saturation out of it. Which says, I haven't seen it yet. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet either. Gotta be careful with these gouache paints too, because they always dry a little darker. So this red might darken up as it dries too, this pink. Quinch says, I'm not super excited about it. Evan says, I was just wondering what people thought about it. I know Let's Do This watched it like the hour it went live. He started watching it, but I don't think he made too many comments because no one else had seen it yet because it was the day it went live. And I think that might have been the last time we've seen him. Maybe that's what happened to him. He wrote a bad review and HBO Max came and took him away. I don't know. What do you think? Is that what happened? Maybe if we talk about Let's Do This enough, he'll hear us and he'll pop in and say hi. Wouldn't be the first time something like that happened. All right, just trying to build these pinks up a little bit. Might have to get a little bit smaller brush, but we'll see what happens. Evan says, I liked it better than what was originally put out. Yeah, that's kind of what Let's Do This said too. But Let's Do This also sort of implied that the first 2 hours were unnecessary, so that doesn't always bode well. Like if someone says to me, hey, you totally have to watch this film, but the first 2 hours you could skip, then I'm kind of Quinch says, or Evan says he liked Falcon the Winter Soldier. Quinch says, loving Falcon the Winter Soldier. Yeah, Christy and I are liking that one quite a bit too. We have enjoyed what we've seen of that so far. And I thought the most recent episode, was that 2 or 3? I like the way they confronted some of the racial issues at play too. I thought that was really smart and well done. I know some people had said it was too subtle, but I kind of thought they did it just right. Like they didn't like beat it over the head like it's a PSA announcement or something, you know, but they like definitely went there. So I kind of dug it. Just a a little bit more in there. We're getting it. It's starting to come alive. Evan says, I also like Superman and Lois, but they're on a break until May. Yeah, I think, was it Quinch or someone else on here had said they'd been watching that one too. I was really excited the new RWBY Justice League that we've been working on came out on Comixology yesterday. It's a digital first series. So it's Comixology first and then it goes to print after that. And the fans are just going crazy in a good way. So it's always nice to work on a project where you like put a lot of yourself into it and then it like is actually well received, you know? So that's been exciting. All right, let me see if I can get just a little bit. Just a little bit more like blending in here. Quinch Press says, I watched the first 3 episodes of Robert Kirkman's Invincible on Prime, and I'm loving that. Yeah, I haven't got to check it out yet, but I've heard really good things, and of course, everything that Robert does is good, so no surprises there. Everything he does is really good. All right, I'm going to go to a smaller paintbrush. For sure. Oh, Evan says, why are the characters in the RWBY Justice League so different looking? Well, so what it is it's all taking place in the RWBY universe. And so the Justice League characters they're the same characters, you know, Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne and everything, but as if they were born and grew up in the RWBY universe. So instead of the regular DC universe. So they're going to have the look, the same sort of manga or anime style look of those characters and the same, clothing style of those characters and everything, you know, so that they're in that universe. And again, so far it's been really well received, which is nice. And we can only hope that as more issues come out, fans continue to be like really excited for it. But yeah, so far the response has been really, really positive. And I've just never seen so many comments on Twitter over like any comic we've ever worked on. So that's nice. It's just nice to see people so excited and out there sharing it and being interactive with it and everything. Quinch says, I think that Tyler Hoechlin makes a great Superman. Oh, is he the one on the new show? All right, hopefully you can see the details building up there in her shirt. I'm sure I'll do a lot of final detail work on that, but I feel like with this third level we're really starting to get the look of it, you know, starting to come to life a little bit. Evan says, I need to get it off of Comixology. I really wanted to see how those were colored. I mean, nothing exciting. It's colored just exactly like the animation in the video game. So, I mean, it's a DC Comics project, but it's pretty much overseen by Rooster Teeth, who does all the animations and stuff. So, it's in their universe. It has to look like their universe. So, very anime manga inspired, but of course we've got 3 different artists on the title. So we're having to adapt the colors kind of per artist to try to make it all work as best as possible. Quinchpress says, granted, I'm not into anime, but this is the first I've ever heard of RWBY. Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. All right, so that's looking all right. Going to go to a deeper blue next, I think. Oh, we let that dry. Evan's like, yeah, Quinchpress, me too. Well, if you check it out, it's a pretty big deal. It's a pretty big property with a really passionate fan base. All right, so let's go in and we'll do the second pass on the hair. So I just want it to be, yeah, so just a shade darker than what we did before, right? So that's easy enough. And just go in and start to block some of this in. I want to make sure that we start to see some of the depth and the levels in her hair, because she's got this sort of like tiered hairdo. So I think it'll be important that we can see kind of some of those tiers in there. And then probably have to go back and, you know, just add in some like some darker detail around certain of the strands and everything, just to get it to all kind of pop. But these blues, you know, you've heard me say it no matter which kind of paint says, blue is one of the hues that, like, it's really hard to paint with because it wants to get really streaky all the time. And it doesn't matter if it's watercolor or acrylic. It's just one of the more challenging hues. It doesn't lay down very nice. You can mix it with white and get some like really nice creamy blues that are smooth to paint with, but for just like pure blues, it can be a bit of a challenge if you want them like really pale and watery. So it definitely takes a couple of passes to be able to like build those up to look the way you want them to. And so just kind of like everything else, you just have to get in the habit of just like, you know, coming in with like 1 or 2 or 3 passes and letting the color and the saturation build up. Evan says, does DC have exclusive colors like Marvel does? Only one. Only one. And the reason I'm not going to say any names is that with the pandemic, I don't even know if that's true anymore. I can also tell you from experience, though, that it's very, very difficult to work for both publishers and do a significant amount of work. I think Sotomayor manages to pull it off a little bit, but it's very, very challenging because, you know, at one time, Hi-Fi was doing like multiple X titles, Wolverine, Avengers. You know, we were doing like 10 plus books a month for Marvel. And then we started doing 5 or 6 books a month for DC, and Marvel's like, nope, no more. And while they've never said as much, I'm sure DC's the same way. If I went back and started doing a bunch of books for Marvel, the DC work would probably dry up. They're not big on people working for the competition, but at the same time, they don't want to give everybody contracts. So it's kind of a sticky situation to be in. And DC's, for the most part, taken very good care of us at Hi-Fi and kept us mostly busy. Even during the bad times, they've done what they can, so no complaints. I would say unequivocally that before DC moved out of New York, that, you know, I would say they treated us like family. They're still very, very good to us. I just don't know if any of the, you know, how many of the people within Warner Brothers knows who Hi-Fi is or anything, but DC themselves have been very, very good to us. So again, no complaints. They've been great to work with. All right, getting that layered in. Evan says, I think I know who it is. I met another Marvel exclusive the other day. Good job. Catherine, redeemed to hydrate. Cheers. Thank you, Catherine. The thing with Marvel, and I mean, I can't speak for Marvel because I haven't worked with them for a long time, but after the Disney acquisition, they really lowered their page rates. And so, and they didn't make any, I mean, they didn't hide that fact. I mean, they pretty much came out and said, you know, we're looking to hire as much foreign talent as possible. And, you know, we're sending people to different parts of the world to discover talent that, you know, works at a lower rate than Americans. So, you know, I love Marvel. I mean, I loved all the comics I worked on there and would love to color all those characters again, but at the moment, at least, you know, I haven't talked to them in years, but the last time we were approached, there wasn't any sort of business case to be made for it, for lack of a better word. All right, just gonna try to get a really rich blue onto the main body of the guitar here before I go back and start adding in like little highlights and shadows. Like, what's going on? There we go. Evan's like, that really sucks. Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, our industry is fantastic. I love comics. Comics has been really good to Christy and I overall. But, you know, anytime you have any like corporate consolidation, they're going to look for ways that they can save money. And, you know, one of those ways is talent. I'm sure there's other ways too, but because I'm talent, that's what the parts I'm aware of. And, you know, if they can find some cheaper talent, they will. And all I can do is try for me and the team at Hi-Fi to do the best work we can do. And hope that that work is recognized and appreciated by fans and publishers. And that they want to continue to work with us. And so far, that's been the case. So that's a good thing. And if the day comes that that's not the case, then we'll deal with that. All right, just... You guys know when I get quiet, right? Doing these like really delicate little areas here. I don't want to accidentally paint blue into her skin because that'll be a lot of work. And you know, Evan, it's not just comics, right? It's animation, it's special effects. You know, they're always looking for different avenues where they can save money. And it's also what we do has become a little bit more commoditized, you know. Art in general has become commoditized, which is really scary. I mean, you know, companies like Fiverr have probably done more to devalue artwork than just about anybody else. And, you know, they like to claim that they're helping artists, but it's kind of like Uber claiming that they're, you know, employing tens of thousands of drivers. It's like, yeah, but if those drivers aren't even making minimum wage, then what's the point, you know? And it says, now I understand, and that's why you have to be better than most colorists to get in now. Yeah, I mean, gosh, I don't want to go on a whole rant, but like, the way I've always seen it is that having talent and skills is like the ground floor, right? That's the basement. I mean, they won't talk to you unless you have that. So that's the entry level. Like being a really good, you know, digital artist or colorist, that's the basement. That's the starting point. And then it's everything you do on top of that that counts, you know. Being able to meet deadlines and being able to talk to editors and be able to get invoices in on time and like all that stuff that counts. Being a good visual storyteller. Like just being able to work Photoshop 20 years ago was enough, but not now, not anymore. So I don't know how it shows up on the cam, but you know, it takes a while to build up this blue to get it like really blue and solid and not streaky. So, you know, it's worth it. Just gotta be patient and layer it up. And doing that first wash really makes a difference because it just kind of creates like a stable platform to build on. And if you get any kind of streaks or anything, that lighter blue will show through and just really kind of beef up all the color. And this lightning bolt, I'll probably come back and revisit because I want it to kind of like fade from like light to dark. But that may be later. We'll see. Evan said I had a flatter telling me his rates were $4 a page recently. Oh my gosh. That's a new low. Is that outside of America, I take it? Okay. We're getting there. We're getting there. Just deciding where to go next with this. Why don't we let some of this dry? I guess we can. Let's do two things. Let's make a really light blue, like really light, like barely there. Oh, Evan says yes. Yeah, I had a colorist complain to me, Evan, just yesterday, as a matter of fact. And I had sent some notes out and basically said something to the effect of, you know, hey, this project's come along pretty good, but the previous colorist had done sort of like X, Y, and Z to these pages on the previous issue. And we need to not copy it, but we need to match it for continuity. We need to be able to have it look like a natural transition between what they did in the previous issue and what we're doing. And this colorist wrote back. He's like, yeah, but that person's in another country and the dollar goes a lot farther there. And if we're going to do that, we should get more money. And I was like, well, yeah, we should. That sounds good, but that's not how the world works. I'm like, you know, especially during a pandemic, the world is like, here's the job. Do you want it or not? Like that's kind of how the attitude can be, right? And so you either do the job or you don't. And sometimes the things you say no to can be just as important as the things that you say yes to, or even more important. And that's tough because when when it's a pandemic and you're just trying to keep all the bills paid, your instinct is to say yes to every project. And unfortunately, that's not always beneficial. And I mean, I'm not a psychic, you know. I don't know all the time like which things to say yes to and which things to say no to. I've learned the hard way a few times, but you know, you can get really excited about some project and then it not be worth your time or any fun, or conversely, you can have something come in that you think you want to say no to, and it ends up being a great project. So it's just like figuring out like what works and what doesn't, you know. All right, so I'm gonna mix up a fairly dark blue now, and we'll see. Might not add any water to it. We'll see. If so, not too much. Try to load our brush up here. Hey Quinch, are you still there? Tell us about your recent rum acquisition that you got. Well, that's pretty dark. I said I wanted dark. It's dark. Let's add a little bit more blue to that. That should be a little bit better. Should be all right. Evan said, I had a colorist tell me I should stop trying to be a colorist because I won't make it because overseas does the same job, only cheaper. Well, I mean, that's always going to be true of like every kind of job. So you can't just say like, don't try or don't do it. I mean, you know, they can make cars cheaper in Korea for Hyundai than they can make in America for Ford, but Ford still makes cars. So you can't be like defeatist like that. Just have to offer something visually or service-wise that your competitors do not. And it can even be something just like an understanding of the product, right? I mean, I've worked on comics where the script would say like, this takes place on Times Square. Well, if you're from here, then you know what Times Square is. And if you're not from here, you might not. And I definitely worked on a comic where they did not know what Times Square was, and they drew like a cathedral and a clock tower and all this stuff that was not Times Square, and there was a few other mistakes like that, and then another artist was brought in who knew what Times Square was to take over the book. So just being cheap is not always like the ultimate advantage. And it's easier for people who only know about business things to tell you stuff like that. But there are other things than just being cheap. Evan says, anyway, rum sounds good. When he's like, it sure does. I wonder if work will get mad. When he's like, hey, Catherine, get the rum ready. Well, I know Quinch just got a new bottle. He must be on a meeting or something, but I know he just got a new bottle, and he was telling me how much he liked it, and like it was some of the best that he's ever had. So I was hoping he would be able to tell us about it. Oh, here he is. Just in time. Here comes Quinch Press. It's like he knew we were talking about him. Quinch Press says, it's an American rum made in New England. I never would have tried it if a friend hadn't recommended it to me. It's from Privateer, and it's their small batch distiller's drawer, New England lot number 1. Has tasty notes of honeycomb, apricots, dried pineapple, hazelnuts, pecans, black cherry, and a lime leaf. Or maybe just lime leaf in general, not a lime leaf. Well, that sounds fantastic to me, Quinch. I think we should all have a glass. All right, just starting to work a little bit of detail into the hair so we can start to get a little bit more shape and form here. Quinch Press says, it does pack a punch at 107 proof. That's 57% alcohol by volume. Catherine says, unlock your desk drawer, Whitney. I'm already on it. Evan says, I don't know if work will get mad at me. Hold, please. Brian, can I have a rum while I work? You are a grown-ass adult. You can do whatever you want to do. As long as the work gets done and it's good. Quinch Press says, no added sugar or additives, but it's naturally sweet. First sip really hits you, but once you adjust, it's very, very smooth. No, I get it, Evan. I know, you're being funny. So starting to get some shape and form now, finally. Kind of like the way that's coming out. All right, I gotta be careful along her jawline here. Kind of a good place for us to work a little bit of extra shadow in there so we can see kind of the depth of the hair here. There we go. Quench Press says, I also ordered their Navy Strong Rum, which is the one my friend recommended, but it accidentally got left out of the shipment, so they're shipping it out today. That's strange. I bet they're mad having to pay double shipping now. You gotta love Asha's hair, man. She's got this craziest, like, layered hairdo. It's kind of cool. I think if I was going to be a Jem the Hologram, this is the hair I would want. I mean, I guess it's not too late. I could get started on that. Quench says they have a few more. I'm going to get my second order as I like the first one so much. Special finish rum, leaves of grass, rye finish, distiller's drawer, cognac cask finished, and a sea glass rum, 5-year-old. Wow, those sound good. Those sound really nice. All right, so let's do the same kind of like shaggy shadow thing over here. We can just bring out some of these like strands. Try to keep this paint from drying out too fast. Keep it workable. Catherine says, it's the at-home haircut we all get when trying to do something else. That's pretty good. I don't know if I could get mine to layer like that, though. My hair doesn't grow long, it just grows out, you know? So it's kind of a bummer for me. I could do like shaggy hair, but I can't do like Russell Brand hair, you know? That's what everybody wants to have, is the Russell Brand hair. Unfortunately, it's beyond my reach. Quench Press, redeemed to hydrate. Cheers to you, Quench. We got about 20 minutes left. So we'll see how far I can get. And then whatever I don't get finished on the stream, I will finish up. Off cam, but we'll see what we can get done here. Just trying to get some nice little streaks of hair going here. I want some just some extra shadow around the neck area so that it helps her pop forward a little bit. Yeah, something like that. There we go. That's actually starting to look pretty cool. Evan says, what was the name of the rhino animal that shot fireballs out of his horn on the Herculoids? Dorno. His name was Dorno. And you're welcome. I think his name was Dorno. Dorno is one of the animals in the Herculoids. I said it really confidently, but Dorno could have been the dragon now. I don't remember. I just want to take a second to say thank you to everybody who's watching today. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube or Twitch, I really appreciate you being out there. And I know not all of you are on the chat. Some of you are watching or listening from work or your car. Some of you are secret Jem fans and just don't want anyone to know. But we appreciate you. We're glad you're here. Thanks for hanging out for the last 20 minutes of our Jem and the Hologram sketch. And then, just be sure to look on Instagram or social media. And when this is all completely done, I'll be sure to share how it all turned out and everything too. Because I always go in and add a few little details and things afterwards. So I'm going to lighten up this dark blue just a little bit. And we'll put some details on her guitar. Hopefully we'll have time, maybe work a few details into the face. Really haven't got to do too much with that yet, but we'll see where we get. I don't want to rush it, so we'll stream for our full 2 hours as always, and so we've got about 20 minutes left. Evan says, I think Dorna was the kid. Oh, Quinch Presley's looked up Dorna was the kid. Okay. Oh, Tundra was the rhino. See, I was close. It ended with the O sound. I worked on the comic, you think I should know, but it's been a long time. And my brain is always mush while I'm drawing. I think all the regulars know that. But I said it really confidently, right? Like, who would question that? I was like, of course it's Dorna. All right, a little bit more blue. Get this to like a nice medium blue shade. Catherine says, thanks for all the time and effort. Oh, gosh, this has been my pleasure. My pleasure. Absolutely. I really enjoy sketching and painting for you guys in general, but this has been a real passion project for sure. All right, let's see what we can get done here. So, on the guitar. Some little crazy details. Well, first of all, I know I want to do, going to want a shadow underneath this arm no matter what. Just gonna paint that in. And that shadow will end up going through that lightning bolt when the lightning bolt's done. Oh, Evan says, thanks to Quinch Press for looking that up. Yeah, I worked on the Hercules comic series with Aaron Lopristi on artwork, and man, he just did such a great job. He's such a talented artist. And I mean, I think a lot of people know him from his work on like Hulk and some other books, but I just kind of feel like he doesn't always get all the love that he deserves for how talented he really is. He's just such a good artist. All right, see if I can get this little shadow put in here. There we go. It's not too bad. And yeah, that book was a ton of fun. I really enjoyed it. I like all those characters. Oof, that's tight. I almost need a smaller brush for this. It's really tight. So how's the new camera setup working today, guys? Is everything clear on as far as like seeing the art goes? Audio okay. I tried to really optimize everything once I got the new desk put up, so if there's any issues, let me know and I'll address it between now and the next stream. Try to get it solved. Quitch says all good. Good, I'm glad to hear that. Just trying to kind of boost the light on the artwork a little bit and get the camera set up where my head doesn't get into it quite as easily. I kind of feel like I need to move things around for my main webcam, but otherwise it's feeling pretty good. All right, there's still a lot to be done to this. I was hoping to go a little faster, but it's all right. There's a lot going on here. You know, Jem was almost all pink and Kimber was almost all red, but with Aja we've got quite a few colors going on. Catherine says it looks good and it seems brighter. Good, I'm glad to hear that. I was really trying to get everything to be a little bit more clear and bright and less shadows and all that kind of stuff. So excellent, glad to hear that. You guys know me, I'm always trying to just improve things when I can. Some of these details probably aren't the most exciting to watch, but they have to be done. Just so we can get some definition on the guitar. Evan says, are you closer to a window now? No, I'm the same exact distance from a window before, but I have a stronger light overhead for the artwork. Because my other desk had a shelf right up here that I used, and this sit-stand desk does not, so it's more open above my head than it was before. I used to have I'd get like weird shadows on my forehead and stuff, I know. So do you guys listen to any particular podcast or anything? I listen to a lot of old-time radio. Still one of my favorite things. And don't necessarily listen to as many podcasts as I used to, but I kind of feel like I need to get back into a few. Maybe some of the like sciencey ones or something, I don't know. Evan says it looks real clear. Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that. That's what I like to hear. Things are very clear. Now, if either the audio plugin people will fix their plugin or Streamlabs comes out with their multiple audio source thing, I'll be able to get music and sounds and stuff back into the stream again. That's been kind of frustrating. All right, that's on a good path, I think. So let's... What do I want to do next? Decision time. Decision. All right. Let's look at Got our little lightning bolt here. And I just want to start working just a little bit more blue into that. So we can kind of fade it a little bit. There we go. Yeah, starting to look pretty cool. And maybe just a little bit darker for the shadow. Nice. Nice, nice. Now we're getting there. All right, kids, I think we're at a point where I'm going to stop and let all that dry real good before I do any more work on it. But we got pretty far. We got pretty far on Aja today. So the next time you see this one, it will be done. Next Thursday, I'll be doing either a Boba Fett or an Obi-Wan. I got to check and see which one's first in line, but one of those two. And then we've got Tiki Tuesday coming up. Got a Mai Tai glass design. We've got a Tiki Batgirl. We got a couple of other things coming up. So lots of fun streams coming up. I want to be sure to stay tuned for all of those. Don't forget to subscribe here on Twitch and join us on Patreon for a chance to win that Cobra Kai artwork. And I guess I better run the credits because I know we had lots of action and stuff going on today. Oh, and Catherine just put up a bunch of builds. Thank you, Catherine. So let's hang out for about 30 seconds and I'll run the credits and we'll be right back and see about doing a raid today. Woohoo! Look at those credits. Thank you guys so much for the tips and for the cheers and for the bits and everything. Really appreciate it. You're the one that keeps the stream going and keeps me drawing, so I really appreciate you guys. Let's see who we're going to raid today. A daytime raid. It could be exciting. Evan says, looks great. Another amazing artwork. Thank you so much, Evan. I mean, you know, there's still a lot to be done, but I think overall it's coming together. It's been nice to share this one with you guys. And thanks for your patience with me for doing this over 4 streams, because I know that's a lot. But I think it's been worth it. It's been a lot of fun. So we'll get it finished up, and I'll share some pictures of how it turned out and everything too. Looks like Quinch is going to find somebody fun for us to raid. Should be a good time. Looking forward to that. And for anybody out there, if you want a Tiki sketch too, I have fun doing the Tiki sketches. This is the one from this last week. The Leaky Tikis from Disney. It was a ton of fun to do. So pop culture, Star Wars, Tiki, I'm kind of all about it. So, you know, if you've got one you want, let me know. All right, looks like Quinch has picked one, so we'll do that. So get your likes and emotes and cheers ready. Don't forget to like and subscribe and stay on target. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.